Hello YouTube, it's the Utopian Buddha. So today I'm going to discuss the nature of God and how God can be one and yet two at the same time, right? The non-dual source giving birth to the dualistic opposites of existence out of necessity. There is no choice, God exists. Existence is prior to choice. Necessity or being is prior to choice, right? Since God is infinite past and infinite future, God could never have chosen to exist. God just exists, right? So that's the first thing. And that also explains the philosophical conundrum. If there is an all-good, all-knowing, and all-powerful God, then why is there so much suffering and evil and starvation and hunger and all this terrible stuff in the world, right? Well, the reason is that God, in a very fundamental sense, is not all-powerful in the dualistic sense. God is power, right? God is not all powerful like some dude in the sky who throws lightning bolts at people and, burns cities to the ground like in the Old Testament and in all the ancient Hindu epics. That's an earlier formulation, a less sophisticated, an earlier evolution of the idea of God, a necessary part in the stages of the development of our ideas of God. But, that's the past. We've evolved past that point. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. So yeah, God is the non-dualistic source of dualistic opposites. I was going to say, oh yeah, okay, here's the other thing, right? But since God is the unity of opposites, God is the union of Father Heaven and Mother Earth, which is, heaven on earth, utopia, love. Love is the unity of opposites, spiritual love, physical love, it's all the unity of opposites. I was going to say something else. God is the source. Oh, and this is what makes the sacrifice of Jesus and all of the saints of history, Buddha, all these people, Gandhi, so significant, is because God had to split himself or he didn't have to. It was a necessary consequence of his existence that the split occurred, right? God is both the separation and the unity and connection, right? So in order to heal that separation, right, there had to be some being. God, Jesus Christ is God, right? And Buddha is God, and all of them are God. But what they did was they entered the darkness, right? Jesus really entered the darkness when he got crucified. But Buddha did too when he went through starvation and suffering. I did it too. Maybe I'm not on their level, but I've been stripped naked in a jail cell. I've gone homeless, psychosis, depression, suffering. So in the interaction and engagement with the dark side, which is the lesser side of God, right? God is both the dark side, the light side, and the capital L light side beyond light and dark. The capital G good beyond lowercase good and lowercase evil. So in the engagement with the suffering and the dark side, you come out a transformed human being, right? This is, Joseph Campbell, Jungian psychology. The hero falls into the depths, man, and has to rise, has to maintain his, well, he probably, in my case, I was consumed by the dark side, but my light, was still flickering. It didn't die out, and I came out of the ashes a better human being. So that's what happened to Jesus, right? So the sacrifice of Jesus was the unity of opposites, right? God split himself off from himself or herself, right? That split had to be reconciled. And the sacrifice of a divine being of pure light and love getting crucified into the dark kind of forced those opposites into unity. And that's why Jesus is such a powerful spiritual force in this world, for good and for ill, because of course, spiritual forces can be corrupted. And this is another very important point that people don't realize. Spiritual development and moral development, they are different lines of development. They are related to each other. They connect in certain ways, but you can be very spiritually advanced and morally corrupt. You can have spiritual siddhis or powers and be able to be in a state of bliss, but still be morally corrupt. Like Osho, dude, that dude was selfish. He had Rolls Royces. That's the reason so many cult leaders have formed in this world, is because they're high in spiritual development, but very low in their moral development. And that's what creates a cult, is a selfish, spiritually developed but selfish individual takes control of an organization or starts an organization and his selfish energy turns the organization inwards upon itself, right? But the truly great souls don't even try to create like a cult or an organization. They're constantly in the outwards focus, right? They're constantly looking outwards. They're constantly trying to give and give and give. So, okay. I think we're good. Yeah. All right. See you guys later.